everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Tuesday. We are here with some Eagles breaking news, so we're going to talk about that. Don't worry, it's Tuesday, so you will get behind enemy lines around 6:30 tonight. So check that bad boy out. Get to know everything about the Eagles' Week 6 opponent. But one of those things we've been talking about for Week 6 is the fact that Nakobe Dean will be eligible to come off of IR. So today he had his 21-day window activated. So therefore, he's got 21 days to practice. And within that 21 days, he either comes off of the IR or he gets placed on season-ending IR. So usually when you see this move happen, it's a good sign that he's almost ready to come back. So I appreciate all of you taking the time here. This is a live one, going to be a quick one, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I know a lot of people, with his first year starting, his first injury, he's his whole career in the NFL, his massive 1-year career, he's been injured the whole time. I don't know where that comes from. He didn't play last year, and, he had this one injury here. So I know a lot of people want to trade everyone on the team, and the trade deadline's coming, so it's going to be, get rid of everyone. I'm actually excited about this. I'm pumped up. I love Nakobe Dean. Happy to have him. When we talked about this offseason, you got to trade, do this, that. And I talked about how well Morrow and Cunningham would fit this system with Nakobe Dean. They've been doing great without him. So now it comes to the issue of who is starting, who gets the most reps here. So a good problem to have. And, look, you've got some linebackers here, but it's not exactly like, groundbreaking stuff here. So, look, I'm happy. We'll see if he comes back for this game. If he's ready and healthy, they will activate him off of IR. But, right now, Braden Mann probably going to get signed to the active roster. If you don't add another punter here, you've got some things to fandangle with here. So we'll see what the Eagles decide to do, but excited about this news here. Yo, my man, Wheels. Yo, dude, hope you're doing well. And look, I'm doing well. Appreciate you tuning in here. I hope you guys are all having a great week. Let's effing go here. But I'll be breaking things down throughout this entire week. We'll be talking about everything you need to know for the Jets and the Eagles. So keep tuning in, and I will keep you up to date with everything. So keeping you up to date, let's take a look at the active roster linebackers, what we just mentioned, and I'll show you this past game. If you missed it, the snap count video from yesterday, go check it out. Who was playing how much at each position. But you can see the linebackers. Christian Ellis played a little bit of special teams, but no defensive snaps. So 100% for Morrow, 86% of the snaps for Cunningham. So adding Nakobe Dean back into that mix is going to be very intriguing. If you want to try to use 3, okay. But look, Cunningham's actually been doing pretty good in coverage. That was one of his issues. He's a tackling machine. But Nicholas Morrow, he's been one of our best players, and I think he's like the 5th ranked linebacker by PFF. I mean, he's doing pretty well. So what kind of guy do you want? Maybe it's just situational play calling. You want guys, in coverage like Dean and Morrow against the run. Cunningham, you got to figure it out here. So we'll see. And here is the depth chart I've got here, and I'm not going to add him on until he actually comes off of IR. So, he'll be added there. We'll see if he's, I assume with the green dot again, but Nicholas Morrow has been playing well again. So the Eagles have a good issue on their hands here. You see slid Bradley Roby in there at nickel cornerback. I thought he did really well. He should be starting, and you can elevate him 2 more times. You don't have to add him to the active roster just yet, but if you want to pay him for doing well, have him starting. You want to bring him to the active roster, I totally could see that happening. So we'll keep our eyes open here, and I'll keep you up to date with everything that is going on with the Eagles. And, if you let somebody go, like a Christian Ellis, somebody, maybe you try to stash them on the practice squad, because right now we've talked about it. You've only got one guy on that practice squad. That is a linebacker, and that is Ben Van Sumeren. You can see all of the rest of the players from throughout the practice squad here, trying to keep you up to date. I did last week a little recap, what's going on with the Eagles, their cap space, draft picks in the future, all that stuff you would need to know about the Eagles. So you can go check that bad boy out, keep you up to date as much as I can with everything going on for not only the Eagles, but their opponent as well. But Nakobe Dean, 21 days here. So he doesn't have to come off of IR this week. He might not, and then he would come back next week against the Dolphins. I'd be fine with that. But it's just really going to depend on how well he's doing. You want to get him back in action as soon as you can. So hoping the best for him. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one, though. You excited to have Nakobe Dean back? What are your thoughts here? Are you following the Dan Sileo mindset? We don't want good players back. Trade everyone. Whatever's on your mind, I want to hear it. I embrace it all, man. I know that, the media and a lot of the fan base gets caught up in the clickbait stuff. So I'm always down to talk about whatever the hell you want, any kind of questions. I have real sources, so I will let you know if any of this stuff is actually happening. I love to counteract all the stuff being made up every single week. It is quite tiresome, but let's effing go, my man. Yo, William tuning in here. Let's go, dude. Appreciate you tuning in. Doing well. Hope you and the family are well. And no, they'll stick with the two they use. And a lot of times, they'll have, schemes with one. And you saw that 14% of the time we were running with one linebacker there. So, yeah, definitely not going to be using three linebackers there. Definitely not with the schemes we run and run so well. So definitely don't want to stop doing good things here. My man Jose, let's effing go, dude. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Haven't seen Nolan Smith. Yeah, exactly like we talked about this entire offseason, my man. He's just behind the pecking order. He's fifth in line there. So he'll get his chance to, bulk up and get better. And he'll be playing before sooner or later. But we talked about him, Jalen Carter is going to be the guy you see the most. Then you'll see Sidney Brown and then Nolan Smith when we talk about rookies who could step in and play. So, yeah, he'll get his chance. But right now, he's just not that he's not ready. On other teams, you could throw him in, but we've got a lot of talent. So he gets to learn. And look, we've got depth there. So he'll get his time. Do not fear. Yo, what is going on, China? Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're having a great week so far. Hope you're ready for Behind Enemy Lines tonight. I've got it all pretty much finished. I'm going to record it, and then I'll put it out around 6:30-ish, 7 o'clock. We shall see. But Record Reddick and Sweat, there's not many snaps for Nolan. Yeah, man, you've got Derek Barnett and Brandon Graham, too. So I just think people get carried away. This is why I explain all of these things in detail throughout the entire off season, every single week. And look, I know you can't watch every single show, but I'm putting all this content out there for a reason, hoping, that people want to start tuning in and learning what's going on rather than we're trading for John of the Daily, Tyreek Hill coming to the Eagles. And not saying that's what you guys are doing, but you see the confusion all the time here. And it's like, I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's like beating a dead horse. But do you explain with the 21-day activation, man? No, that's fine. And look, I'm always happy to answer any questions that you guys have. That is what I'm here for. But 21 days, when you're on the IR, you get this window opened. So when you're on IR, you can't practice. You can't be there. Now that window is activated, he can be at practice, but he's still on IR. That's why I didn't have him there on the depth chart. But what happens is you practice, you see how they're doing. If they're good, you take them off IR, back on the active roster, good to go. Now, that's if there's an open spot. You have to let someone go. If not, but right now, they're not taking up a spot on the 53. So if he's not ready, you just let him practice, and then next week you can activate him. I mean, whatever they want to do, but he's got 21 days. And the reason they give you the window is because at 21 days, he has to be activated. He has to be put back on the active roster. So usually when you see this activated, it's a good sign that they're close. So if they don't get put back on, they're on season-ending IR. So this means he is close to coming back. They don't have to. It's a 4-week minimum that they're on IR. He could have been on there for 8 weeks, and then you bring him back on that 21-day window. But he's got 21 days to practice, prove that he's healthy. So hopefully that I was able to explain it there for you. But if you have Dan Sileo mindset, hey, man, and you know it, I do everything I can to counteract that stuff. And I know a lot of people get pissed off at me for explaining how Hurts will develop and how the cap works. But it's like, bro, I'm literally just trying to help. It's so nuts to see how pissed off people get. It's like, okay, dude. But no, and yo, I know your question means I'm not trying to rag on you, but I've explained that all offseason for a reason, and I told you what my source had said about him. I think, he's got a good future. We just got to be patient with some of these guys. So I think that, got a little parrot in here, but yo, appreciate you. Look, all of you guys tuning in here. I got to get rolling. Let me try to get through these. Yo, and look, I will always try to be here for you guys. You need anything. If you have any questions, you missed all of the shows from the offseason, anything like that, I will happily let you know any single player, anything that's happening. I will happily set you on the right path here. But Eagles base defense don't really have a base defense. You know, if you were to give it anything, I would say it's a 4-2 nickel. That's pretty much what you run the most of. But the odd fronts that we saw last year, you're not seeing as much of. I would like to at times, but it is what it is. But it's a multiple scheme defense. You're going to see both, but it's a 4-2 predominantly what you see. So a nickel is something that you're going to see most teams running in today's NFL, because a lot of teams are running those 3 receiver sets or have a tight end that can catch, you know. So we'll see what it is. But yes, very excited about Bradley Roby there. And hey, it is my pleasure. That is what these shows are for, explaining everything I possibly can for you. But if you have any further questions, anything else you want to know, something on your mind, feel free to comment down below. If you got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. Tonight, I will be dropping Behind Enemy Lines Week 6, Eagles versus Jets. So you're going to get to know everything about the Jets, everything you need to know. So hope you'll tune into that. And if you do, I hope to hear from your ass, because it will not be a live one, but always love you guys tuning in. I saw last week had over like 600 views. So that's what's up. Trying to get people on board with knowing what's happening in these games, rather than we don't have to keep doing what? We don't know our own players. We don't know. I want you to know everything about not only the Eagles, but their opponent and everything going on for this matchup. So if you're new to the channel, you tomorrow, so Tuesdays, today, right now, and any day that's breaking news, I'll do this. But Behind Enemy Lines on Tuesday, you get to know the opponent. Tomorrow, initial injury report for both teams. Thursday, you will get another injury report and the top matchups. Friday, you will get the game status report, who's questionable, who's out, and then live Fan Friday that night. Saturday, you get the practice squad elevations and the updated depth chart with that. And then, of course, at night, if I have time on Saturdays, it really depends, but I'd like to do a live video. We're going to try to do that roster comparison again with you here this Saturday. So doing all I can to keep you up to date with everything under the sun when it comes to the Eagles or their opponent. But if you're ever missing anything, you need me to send you in the right direction, let me know. But I appreciate that, man. And if you guys are missing anything, you can always go back, check out those pre-draft videos. You want to know about Jalen Carter, Sidney Brown, Nolan Smith, why I wanted them in this draft. Go check that out. You want to hear about what I think they mean to this team once we drafted them. There is videos on everything. This isn't a place where it's just clickbait. Oh, wow, breaking my face. I'm sorry, man. I stick to actual stuff. I know that rubs people wrong, but I know you diehards that love football. That's what it's all about for you. And that's what I'm trying to change the game. And look, you've seen in the past couple of years, we got people understanding the cap, how a defense works, what quarterback development is. Doing my best to get people on board with understanding this stuff, rather than just always being pissed off, negative, and whiny like a Cowboys fan. No, thank you. We diehards got to stick together here. So I appreciate each and every one of you that took the time. You hit that like button, you subscribe, whatever you're doing to support the channel. I cannot thank you enough. Check that video out later, Behind Enemy Lines. And if you're wondering, this is what it looks like. So it will be dropping around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Keep your eyes out for that one. But I hope you're all having yourselves a great day. And until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Hope you all have a great night. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!